Okay, some more of the unknown histories, unknown things about those in history. Let's look. We've been asked to look at Nefertiti. So let's pull some cards on Nefertiti. Now, the one that really surprised me was Genghis Khan, because he was, he was ruthless. He was bloodthirsty, ruthless, when it came to torturing those that he, had captured, etc., to fuel the fear about him. But it looked like he also had another side to him, which is pretty unknown. I was surprised. So let's look and see what we have for Nefertiti. What can you tell me about Nefertiti that we don't know? What can you tell me about Nefertiti? Okay, let's look and see what we have. The center of it, this is some light. Looking at some light. Above it, victories. Now, I have no knowledge about Nefertiti except for her name, okay? That she was a person that was, usually the empress is somebody of abundance, usually somebody that's bringing forth things, because usually they show her as pregnant and a person of, again, abundance, bringing forth things, able to bring things. I don't know how to say it better. I know there's a better way to say it, but my mind is on non-function today when it comes to that. In the past, she's a person of strength, so a strong person of action. She was control, maybe did some offerings, offered something, holding on to some things in the world. Some things did not work out. Seeds planted did not come through what she wanted. We have a male there. Again, somebody that was an emotional person. Again, another king. So we got her on one side, the queen, and the other side, the king. So the challenge was maybe, was there somebody there? Did she rule with somebody? Because we have the, at the house, we have the actions and stability of the house. And again, another male that was in control. So I have no idea about Nefertiti. But this is interesting. So the overruling thing on this reading, and I am really at a loss. I'm going to have to look up Nefertiti after this because I could be all wet. But it's showing a person of abundance, somebody that was fruitful. That's the word I'm looking for. Fruitful. Okay? Fruitful person. When it came to things in the world, she struggled to hold on to things in the past, and some planting of seeds did not come to harvest like she liked. The challenge was the king, the one that had the wealth, the one that had the power. Okay? So those of you that know something more about this, let me know, because I have no idea about Nefertiti. Emotionally, there was something being offered, and it was maybe an offering of the challenge of a male that an emotional type of a male. So in the past, there was this offering. The challenge was this male. So whether there was something offered that was accepted and she was with this person or not, I don't know. Or if it were something that was offered that was bypassed, also could be. So when it comes to the actions, above it, there were some victories with it. Going into it, we had her as a strong person of action. Challenge was the male that was a strong action, and also on the home front, okay? Also could be, this is like my thing for White House, so rulership as well. Could be something about the rulership and the stability of that home life or rulership, etc. So that's what I get as a starting point for Nefertiti. Now, like I said, I know absolutely nothing about Nefertiti. Was she married? Was she not? Was she just somebody known in history? I don't know anything. I only know I've heard the name. That's as much as I know about Nefertiti. Now, let's go to the Lenormand and just see what am I going to get for Nefertiti? Because I'm totally at a blank now. Nefertiti, what can you tell me about Nefertiti? So whether that was the king was a single male that was emotional and action, took a lot of action from emotion, or whether it was two separate males, I don't know, but they were in the challenge position, okay? Could have been she was with an emotional type of a guy that took action, rapidly. Now there wasn't, there weren't a lot of mental realm stuff in there. It was mostly fueled by emotion and action, okay? But not a lot of heavy thought into it, which was the opposite of Cleopatra, which really was, into the intellect. So let's look and see. Going into it, we have starting point, the owl, which is usually looking at deeper, darker conversations. When it came to the life path, this is usually my card for the path and to the long road, looking at the long road of things when it came to a male, okay? Some sort of documentation, writings that she could have been involved with at the heart of things. So what type of a writing, I don't know what she was involved in, but there was something to do with, I don't know, scribes or something where she was at. The darker things had to do with somebody, whether it's her or somebody else, that was not always on the up and up in honesty, okay? Somebody that could be, also the fox could be a crafty, somebody that's very crafty. About the life path is about her directions. Many other things she was involved with. As far as with the male, there was some difficulty. She had some difficult times with the male. Again, the writings and things have to do with the path, some sort of a divisionary path where she had to decide where she's going, and that kind of anchored things in at the heart level. Now we'll look at the bottom row, the foundation. Again, looking at these darker elements, conversations with somebody that's kind of crafty, could be sneaky, had to do with another male, somebody, maybe somebody she would counsel with or somebody she was dealing with. Yeah, this had to do with her. Again, her life path and the choices she was making, directions she was going. Something new that had come up with the younger male that was a hindrance, a difficulty in her life. When it came to the path challenges, this is the either fishtails, fishy story, but this had to do with the writings. This has to do with something she was involved with. It could be monetary, it could be abundance, it could be fishtails. And this is something that she was contracted to, anchored into in the heart of things, okay? So that's what we have for our starting point. Now we'll start looking at this from the center, which was the beginning, difficulties. Difficulties with the male and some new things, also to do with her and these writings or whatever it was that she was involved with. Also, we have a difficult path. Her life path had, I would say, an abundance of difficulties. She did not have an easy time of it. Now we'll go looking at her directions, her path directions. Something to do with the male. It could be from his early time to his late time, or it could be two separate, different males. Also, these deeper, darker conversations on new things that were arising for her. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and some of it was the difficulty with that conniving, whatever it was that was causing her problems. Somebody that was, kind of crafty could have been causing her problems too. Because we have the next section is about the path. And that there were anchored in difficulties for a lot of her path. Okay, so that is what she had going. Also, again, with the male that she was contracted to, had some sort of a obligation, married to, whether it's physical marriage or whether it's just somebody that she was having to have some alliance with, and new things on the path at the heart of it. So that's what I'm getting for her. Deeper conversations at the heart about contractual things she had going in her life. Difficult time. She was a person that tried to stand in her power, okay? She wasn't a wimp, but apparently she was having difficulties in her life with some choices. Maybe the choices were always not to her liking, that she was forced to make. And again, I don't know whether it was a couple different people, but it seemed like more these were somebody that acted out of emotion rather than intellect when they took action, and that was a difficulty for her. So now that I've finished that, I'm going to go back and see what I can find about Nefertiti, because I know absolutely nothing. I hate to say it, but I have not studied Egyptian history, so whether it's King Tut or Nefertiti, people you're asking about, I don't know a thing about them except for their names. Okay? I have not been into Egyptology? So now I'm going to go back and check and see what I can find on Nefertiti, if any of this is talked about anywhere, any kind of connection at all. And I'll see you online. But thank you for asking about Nefertiti.